Thanks, Richard. Well, Daytona Beach Bike Week starts in just 2 days. It runs from Friday through March the 16th. And whether you're planning on going or you just like to cruise around on your bike at home, you need to think about motorcycle safety.
You know, just last month, a woman had to go to the hospital after an accident involving 3 motorcycles in Flagler County. So joining us now to talk more about some of the safety advice, you have Angelo Patacca, an attorney and motorcycle safety expert. You said you've been driving for more than a dozen years, and you're all about safety. And first off, I'm actually wearing, I call it my highlighter yellow, because it is seen, you see it. And your motto is kind of like, you wouldn't be caught dead in it, and that's exactly the advice.
Really, nowadays, there are more distracted drivers on our roads than ever. There are more motorcyclists on the roads than ever. So my personal philosophy is see what's out there, but more importantly, be seen. And studies show that wearing something with high-vis, yellow, a vest, something simple like that, reduces your odds of getting in an accident by up to 1/3. The joke is a lot of people say, ooh, that yellow, I would not be caught dead in that. And that's exactly the idea.
You don't see this a lot, though, on the road. I mean, I don't see many motorcyclists that wear this type of gear.
You don't traditionally. I think the coolness factor of motorcycling kind of steers away from it. It is getting more popular. There's no coincidence you see JSO motorcycle officers wearing yellow. You see firefighters on the road wearing yellow. You nowadays see landscapers on the side of the road wearing yellow. You can be smart and you can be safe. And choosing high-vis yellow or even high-vis orange is probably the safer way to go.
And typically, Bike Week, I mean, unfortunately, every year, almost a dozen people die on the roads. There are almost 500,000 bikes who come into town throughout the 10 days. Another safe thing to do is you're talking about your gloves and also the jacket that you had. Actually, you can see on the jacket, this was a 25-mile-per-hour crash, and let's say you didn't have this on.
Right. Well, what we have is nowadays leather or synthetic gear is important. Both protect you equally as well, but they protect you tremendously better than the human skin. Yeah. So this was a 25-mile-per-hour safety test, we'll call it. The leather does fine. The jacket is still usable. It's got impact protection. If this was human skin, you'd be going to the hospital. You may even be facing some skin grafting along your back. So real easy to do, a jacket at a minimum. Pants is preferable too. Today I'm wearing, because of the weather, I've got a full suit of synthetics. Protects me both from the weather and if I go down, because it's got hard padding. The most important piece of equipment that I would recommend, if I had to choose only one, is obviously a DOT certified helmet.
Right, which isn't necessarily mandatory. If you're under 21, you have to have a helmet. Correct. But over 21, are you finding that this is a cooler gear to wear? I mean, it just seems like it makes sense to wear this helmet.
It makes tremendous sense. I personally choose to wear a helmet. I think those of us who ride and have children have a responsibility to role model that. If you expect your kids to wear a helmet with their bicycle, you should be doing so with your motorcycle. But nonetheless, you should be looking for a DOT compliant helmet. In Florida, if you don't want to wear a helmet, you got to be over 21, and you have to have about $10,000 worth of either health insurance or medical benefits. But I choose to ride with a helmet, DOT compliant.
Right.
It's safe.
You look safer. You look safe, yeah.
Sure. And you mentioned to us that distracted driving, I mean, when you're on the motorcycle, you have far less time to react than a person in a car.
Unfortunately, a motorcycle, although they look very maneuverable, and they stop a lot slower, so to speak. We have less rubber on the road, so when we lock up the brakes, it's much more likely that the bike is going to go down. So we have to see the traffic and see the hazard coming so we can avoid it earlier than someone, for instance, with 4 tires who can afford to slide, frankly.
Yeah. And you were saying before, it's also the motorcyclist's responsibility to be safe as well when they're out there on the road. You brought your bike, and if we could take a shot, it's something called the triangle of lights, which you can equip your bike with to make sure that you are seen when you're out there.
Right. What we've done with my bike, and many riders do, is we put a second set of lights, you're seeing it on the screen right now, down lower below the headlight. It's down by the forks. That creates this triangle of light. When you see it, it stands out in the street. In other words, you don't look like just one headlight back there with a car. You'll see JSO, they use that equipment standard. A lot of police agencies do. A lot of casual riders like myself do. It's just one more way to make yourself be seen, because the most likely accident that's going to occur for a motorcyclist is that car that's going to cut across from you at an intersection.
And doesn't know you're there.
They always say, I didn't see you coming.
All right. Well,
hey, Angelo, thanks for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having us.
Advice this morning.
Everybody ride safe.
Yeah, for more information on staying safe on the roads, you can go to Motorcycle Safety Foundation's website. That is msfusa.org, and you can find out more advice.
And you can also register for a motorcycle safety course in your area. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Well, Liza Minnelli.